Hello my friend! Today we will show you how to change broken cable for a Kingston HyperX Cloud Stinger core with 3.5mm audio jack with microphone. This way you will save around $70 by repairing the headset instead of throwing it away. The problem is broken 3.5mm 4-pole jack, wire damaged in several places. Don't worry, cat is fine and alive because we know how to fix headphones. Let's make sure your pet also stays healthy. If you don't need a microphone and only use headphones for music, then you can make things easier for yourself and install a 3-pin jack. But how do you wire it? Click on the I button in the upper right corner to check out the video on how to do it. But if you also need a microphone, click on the I button again to watch the video on how to install a new 4-pole jack with microphone. But you are on TechScrew YouTube channel where we will show you the hard way to make your headphones like new with working microphone. So sit back, relax, take some popcorn and watch the guide. Like for all DIYs, you'll need some tools to do it successfully. Additionally, you'll need to buy a new 3.5mm 4-pole cable. Links to examples will be in the video description and in the comments. Okay, let's go. Let's start by disassembling the side of the headphone where the cable enters. First, the earpad cushion must be removed, but I warn you that putting it back on is a lot harder than you might think. It's easy to remove, just stick your finger behind the pad and pull it off. As you can see, easy peasy. Now you have to unscrew these few screws. Be careful and make sure that screws don't fall in the speaker. There's a magnet there that can attract the screws and damage the speaker, and then headphones will be truly dead. When all screws are loose, lift the headphone body to make it easier to work with. Tear off the glued wire, but be careful and don't damage anything. Here's a close-up of all wires coming from the damaged cable. Now cut off our damaged cable, but leave the ends of the old wires. It will be easier to unsolder it. Pull out the old cable, but don't throw it away. We will still need it. The next step is to scrape off the black glue from the contacts of the pinched wires. This is not easy, but it must be done to proceed successfully with the wire replacing. It's important to note that for the stock wire, the gold wire is mic minus, blue is right plus, red is left plus, white is mic plus, and green wire is ground minus for left and right channels. In order to successfully replace the damaged HyperX Cloud Stinger core headphone cable, we need to purchase a replacement cable. Any cable that has 3.5mm per 4-pole jack, 3 pins for stereo music and 1 pin for microphone will do. Here's your chance to choose something colorful and stand out among your friends with a custom cable for this headset. We'll take the most flexible cable in hopes that will last longer. This 4-pole cable will be in the description. Then we need to choose from the new cable which jack type we'll put as the new one for our headset. Then we cut the length of the cable we need. Most common is 1.5-1.8 meters. For any cable repair, it's important to stretch the sheet so the excess sheet can be cut off. This way the headphones will last longer as the wires will not get teared off by excess sheet. Trim 1-2 cm off the end of the cable, but leave the fabric sock uncut. Just pull it back. Repeat the cable tensioning procedure again. Make sure that the end of the cable sock goes over the cut end of the cable. Then twist the fabric. Lightly burn the sock and glue it together. The next task is to get the old cable out of the cable fixator, because we want to replace it with the new cable. It won't be easy, but with a little patience, it can be done. Once we have cleaned the cable retainer, we can slide the new cable into it. The end of the cable had to be burned to make it easier to pass the cable through it. A little effort and cable is through. Pull the retainer down the cable for about 15 cm. Pass the new cable through the hole in the housing. Measure the length of the cable that we have to remove to allow nice soldering of the wires. Then use a very sharp paper knife to cut off the outer sheet of the cable. You can also burn the fabric socks, it will be easier to get the sheet off. The task is to remove outer insulation, both the cloth sock and the rubber, but do this neatly without damaging the wires inside. Once you have managed to get the cable insulation off, split the 4 wires each on their own side, and you should have a view like this to be able to continue this DIY successfully. Now we will use soldering iron. Here you should be at least 18 years old or ask your parents for help. While the soldering iron is heating, take the heat shrink tubing and cut it a little longer than the plastic holder. Also cut the other heat shrink tubing for the same 3.5mm jack. Also slightly longer and preferably slightly smaller in diameter. Now a small life hack from the TechScrew team. Any heat shrink tubing can be stretched to a larger diameter, thus allowing you to get it over a larger jack and tighten it much smaller. That's what we are doing here, stretching the heat shrink tubing to fit it over the jack. Then we slide this heat shrink tubing onto the retaining part of the cable and slide it over the top of this plastic. Then we prepare another heat shrink tubing for the connector. And we put it on top of our jack so the heat shrink tubing itself is not on the top of the metal jack contacts. Then we shrink the heat shrink tubing using a hot flame or a hairdryer, which will give us extra cable fixation and longer lifespan. The soldering iron is hot and we can solder all 4 contacts. This is necessary because otherwise we won't be able to solder the wires. They are covered with an insulating varnish which does not conduct electricity. Next we use a multimeter to find out which color goes to which jack contact. We need to know this to solder the wires to the headphones correctly. As a result, we got that blue is ground for left, right and microphone, red is left, gold is microphone and green is right. We start the soldering stage of the new wire by unsoldering one of the old wires and soldering a corresponding new wire in its place. The red wire for the left channel plus, then take the red wire of the new channel which is also left plus and solder it in place of the old channel. And we do this with all the other wires in sequence. Unsolder the old wire and solder the correct new wire in its place. Only at the very end there is one important thing. As you can see, originally 4 wires were used, gold, blue, red, white and green, where 2 of these wires, gold and green, are ground for microphone and left-right speakers. Both these wires connect to the 3rd pin of the jack. Most 4-pole cables only have 4 wires, so we have to make a jumper from gold to green. We take the old gold wire and solder it to the pin where the old green wire was, or where now there's new blue wire. What a brain fart moment, but if you have any questions or don't get this part, write a comment below. Together we will try to help you. It should look like this. 4 strands of the new wire come in, plus 1 jumper of the old extinct one that connects the mic and speaker grounds. We stick insulating tape on top of the solder contacts to additionally fixate the wires and protect them from short circuits. Simple but effective. Take a multimeter at the new cable jack. We check ourselves that everything is properly connected and nothing goes short. Everything works. We put glue on the cable and push the cable a little bit inside the plastic retainer so that the cable sticks. Slide the plastic fixator into its place. Twist it a little until it finds its right place. Phew! The hard part is in the past. Now we can put the headphones back together. Screw all 4 screws back in, firmly but with feelings. Put the earpad back on. For some, this will be the hardest thing they will do in this life, but actually it's not that hard. Anyway, click on the I button and read some good tips from other people on how to successfully put the pads back on if you have any difficulties. All that's left to do is to put on some heat shrink tubing to fixate the cable. Take your fire thrower and attach the heat shrink tubing, so that the headphone cable lasts longer. The result looks like headphones that came right from the factory. The best thing is that you can choose the length and the look of the cable. If you like it how it looks, then hit the like button. Connect the headset to the phone and check with the voice recorder if the microphone works. Then put the headphones on your head. For the left-right channel test, click on the link in the video description. There's a test track video uploaded by the tech crew specifically for this purpose. All that's left to do is to put the foam filter on the microphone that the Stigi manufacturer didn't provide, and the headset is ready for new, longer gaming sessions. Sorry for such long DIY video, it just came out like that. We just wanted to show everything. As always, if you have any suggestions, questions or something else, feel free to write them in the comments. We always try to read them and try to help. Don't forget to support our DIY repair movement by doing a backflip on the like button, and subscribe if you want to see more helpful DIY videos. Thanks, and see you in the comment section.